Welcome to the S Word Live. My name is Renee Rebar, sales strategist, TEDx speaker, and author, and my goal today is to help you make sales simple and fun. I am in Detroit today. Thank you so much for joining me live. I see you guys popping on. I got a new mic today, so I'm going to try to get that on again. It totally fell off as soon as I started. Hello, Tammy. Say hello as you join. Where are you listening from? Whether you're live or on the replay, I'm going to share with you something today that so many women have been talking about this past week. I promise you, every week I come here with fresh, new sales strategies, emotional support around those sales strategies, as well as the milestones to know you're doing it right? The tactical work. So for this week, what I want to talk about is something that has been in the air, and that is lack. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have that. She has that. She has that. And she has the other thing, and I don't. So, I'm not good enough. I can't have a course. I can't start a mastermind. I can't create a program. I can't create another income stream, or I can't just be a consultant. People only want me for the brawn of the work that I do, right? This has been, of the 30 plus women that I mentor, this has been at least half of them this week. So I can tell you that it is in the air for sure. So if this is you and you've ever felt this way, know that you are not alone. So what I'm going to talk about today is leaning into your lack, or what you perceive as your lack, as your strength, your unique selling proposition, the thing that makes you different, the thing that makes every other copywriter not your competition, every other freelancer not your competition, every other coach not your competition. So if you like to stand out above the noise without having to be a dancing monkey, without having to be on social media 24/7, this is what I want you to go through. So my L squared USP generator. So here's what it looks like. For example, if you have ever said, oh, she has a big audience and I don't, or, well, she has a big email list and I don't, or she has a really awesome website and I don't, let me know in the comments. So if you've ever felt that way, I know I felt that way when I first came into the online space. So I made what I lacked my USP. So you can even see it still in my tagline: no list, no website, no problem. So when I first came in the online space, sure, I had all of this experience selling. I had all of this time running a company, and even though I had made millions, it didn't matter. Top thousands, didn't matter. In my head, I still didn't have an email list, didn't have a fancy website, didn't have a fancy degree. But instead of making that make me feel less than and lackluster, I leaned into it. And that helped me grow an audience and an email list and everything else. So in this case, I made it my tagline: no list, no website, no problem. I can still teach you how to sell no matter the economic conditions. Zombie apocalypse, I got you. High times, I got you. And so that is what has built my brand. That is what has built my business, and still building it, because there's a lot of people that don't, I'm not, a lot of people don't know who I am. I'm not Oprah. So you don't have to be Oprah to make a phenomenal living from anywhere. Okay, so that being said, the L squared USP. So I want you to go through it, and it's just something easy. You can go through your newsfeed, right? I know I've gone through my newsfeed and be like, I don't have that. I don't have that. So make a list of what you think, and I'm sure it's at the tippy top of your tongue, on this one side of the piece of paper. So one side of the piece of paper is all the things you don't have. What do you lack? For me, it was, I didn't have an email list. I didn't have a fancy website. I didn't have a fancy degree. I went to state. I chose my university because it was, one of the top 10 party schools from the year before. Don't tell my parents, even though it was 25 years ago. So yeah. So what did I have? So I couldn't say I have, this fancy degree. I couldn't say that. There are people that can. So if you can, lean into that. So this is what I said to myself. I made that list on the left-hand side. So this is the L squared USP generator. Make that list on the left-hand side of all the things that you think you lack. Who has ever, tell me in the comments if you've ever gone through your news feed and felt horrible about yourself afterward. Totally. And you know what my news feed is full of? It's full of other people that do what I do. And so I've got a client who does energy work. And guess what her newsfeed is full of? People that do what she does. Our unique newsfeed fills itself with things they think we're interested in. And because we talk about these things a lot, it's showing us more of the same. So if you look at my brother's newsfeed, it's totally different. It's all about like what he does for a living. Totally different than what I do. So everyone's newsfeed is unique to them. So know that your newsfeed is showing you more of what you talk about. So I talk about sales all the time. My phone is always hearing me, I'm sure. Doot doot. So I know that when I look at my newsfeed and I make that list on the left-hand side of all the things that I think I don't have, that is going to help me flip the script to create my USP, which is, what do I have, right? I do have experience. I do have results, trackable and measurable and in reality. I do have the willingness to try new things, to try new programs, to put new offers together, right? So what I don't have turned into what I did have. So who here has ever felt that way when you've gone through your newsfeed, maybe felt that lack? Let me know in the comments. Here's another thing that I think can add to the L squared USP generator. Like my pencil? This is what happens when you have elementary kids in school in your house. You have lots and lots of pencils because that's what they give away. So this happens to me all the time. When I hear this, I always think of this exercise. I have this thing that I do for a living. This is what people tell me. I have this thing that I do for a living, but over here is what I'm passionate about. So for example, maybe you are a freelance copywriter, but you're also really passionate about infertility. Okay, so talk about that. Because there will be people, believe me, that hire you to write their email sequence because you're also talking about your passion project, right? So in this case, if you're passionate about guiding other women through infertility, maybe that's something you haven't monetized yet, but it's still a part of who you are. Creating your unique selling proposition is coming forward with your full truth. All the parts of you, who you are, what you believe in, what you stand for, and what you do for a living. So maybe you are a copywriter, but you're also really passionate about shelter animals, right? So I have a client who's a bookkeeper and super passionate about shelter animals. She had, through her work with a local organization that helps rescue animals from shelters and get them fostered and find their forever homes, she has helped in a very small rural area, has helped over 10,000 animals find homes. That would make me want to hire her as a bookkeeper. Yes, she also has the clout of 20 years of experience in bookkeeping and proven track record of helping companies, big and small, keep more of the money they make. But in addition to that, since I'm also passionate about shelter animals, knowing that she's also passionate about shelter animals will help me possibly make a decision toward her. Does that make sense? If all things are equal, what stands out? Our unique selling proposition. So those are two specific examples of passion meets what you do for your profession. So in the L squared USP generator, you're going to make on the left-hand side all the things that make you feel like you're lacking and flip the script on them. And at the very bottom, you're going to write down the things that you are passionate about so that your passion can meet your profession. And then the goal here is to find a way to start talking about that. So if you're one of my students in Sell Like a Mother, you know that I talk about anchor content. That anchor content is your way to share a message as it evolves every single week with your audience. Now, your audience might be an audience of 1. Maybe it's an audience of 100. Maybe it's an audience of 1,000. Last week, my audience, my warm audience, just on Facebook was 7 million. It's amazing. Still not 8 billion, but it's 7 million. Why? Because every single week I've been coming forward with anchor content. Now my anchor content looks like a live video. You're experiencing it right now, the S Word Live Show. It allows me to come forward and talk about the freshest, newest things that are happening in my business and ways that I can help bring value to the people listening. For other students of mine, their anchor content looks like a blog post. They're writers. For other students of mine, their anchor content looks like a podcast because they love to talk, but they don't like being on camera for lots of different reasons. So for me, I appreciate, as somebody who's had a business since 1996 that was profitable and can support her family, I know that it's not about beating your head into the wall because you can't go live or because you can't write something or because you can't go and have a podcast. Any of those things are fine, as long as you're sharing your message. Maybe it's a blog post that is really, turns into your email. So if you have a message, you can, my friends, please start sharing it. Hold on, here it is. Wait for it. Hey, Amber, hello. Here's your permission slip. So here's your permission slip, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so thankful that you came here today to watch the S Word Live show. You can bet your bottom dollar that every single week you can come back here to this channel, wherever you found us, because this is syndicated across mediums, and you can allow yourself the opportunity to get great at sales, because there isn't a successful business owner today that isn't honing their sales skills, that hasn't taken time to invest in themselves to get great at selling for themselves. Sure, eventually they may have a sales team. Sure, eventually they may not have to be the front of the business, but initially, to get to that point, they had to be. And your C-suite of any large corporation is filled with former salespeople. So it's okay. In fact, it's necessary. It is it is an essential. It is not a nice to have skill. It is a necessary skill to get great no matter where you are professionally. And I just gave you some way to bring your personal and your professional world together to create your unique selling proposition. So I cannot wait to hear the comments and the results and what you get from this. I will see you soon.